So threading the machine. Threading the machine. So let's take this off. Okay, so we're going to thread the machine. So, like for me, what I do is I already keep my bobbins like winded. I have two of the same color in here. And that way I don't have to wind, bobbins every time I need one. I mean, that's just for me. It's just quicker for me to do that. So remember the shorter bobbin pin. Let's put it in. Okay. I have my presser foot up. Remember, you want your presser foot up so that your disc will be kind of spread out. Okay, and I'm using embroidery thread for this, and I changed the needle out to a blue jean needle, and I just never like took it out. I've used the blue jean needle for like ever. Okay, so you want to do it into thread guide 1 over the disc. So you're going to put it over the disc. And you want to put it into thread guide 2, which is here. And again, it's going to go over the disc. And then you're going to put it into the take up lever. Okay. Into thread guide number 3. Okay. And then let your presser put back down, and you're going to thread your needle. Okay. That's it. Like with this. Okay, you see how that's going up? And you want to leave out about 1 inch. And when you put it in, the thread is going to be coming toward you. You put it in like so. I didn't quite get my thread in there. close this up. And I'm gonna firmly hold this, but not enough to where I'm gonna pull the bottom thread up. Okay. And at this point, after I pull the bottom thread up, I should have two should have two threads. I should have the needle thread and the bobbin thread once I pull it up. And I do have videos on how to, I'll insert it, on how to let that down and, you know, bring the bottom thread up through. Okay, so now that it's all threaded, we talked about tension. You're going to either put it all the way on the minus or all the way on the plus. I mean, and that's just for me. It works for me. Okay, so with this machine, like I said, I have a blue jean needle in here already. Okay, I'm gonna take fabric like I have before. This is 100% cotton, and I'm gonna sew around it. Okay, now with this machine, what works for me is, excuse me, to bring your needle, when you start to sew, bring your needle down into the fabric before you begin sewing. And I'm just saying that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. And okay, when you start to sew and guide, this machine is going to work just like any other machine. You want to have the needle inserted into the fabric, bring it up, turn, take it back down, start to sew again. And bring it up. course, the thread color is not the best. Okay, so you're gonna sew around, right? Alright, that's how the back looks, and that's how the front of the thread looks. Okay, I went over how to have your thread like knotted off so it won't unravel. Okay, there's a lot of ways you could do that. Like with this, it could start to unravel like real easy. You see that? So you want to tie your ends off very well. Okay, I mean, that's just the only downside of this machine. It's just what it is. We'll see how easy it is for me to like just start taking all of this thread loose just by pulling. Okay, and you don't want that. I'm going to show you how to taper it off. Just a pull of the thread, it'll come loose, even on this side. Like, it doesn't matter, it'll just start pulling it loose. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of sewing on this machine. Okay, even if you have your thicker fabric, this is upholstery fabric, it'll work like the same way. Bring this needle up, and put it down. Put the needle inside of the material and just start sewing. Okay. That's the back. Let's see, that's the back, and that's the front. Okay, but again, it will pull away. I mean, that's just the gist of this machine. It'll just like start pulling. See there, how easy that is. And then there goes your stitch. Okay, same with this one. I just didn't pull it all the way through because I sewed all the way around the so it's not going to pull as quick as it would, you know, if you did a straight stitch. But just to show you how easy it is for it to just pull a loose. So it's not the best stitch, but it can be resolved. Okay, and with the straight stitch, it just pulls completely out. So I'm going to show you how you could taper off your stitches. Okay, let's get let me get this polyester piece of fabric. Okay, so to start, remember I put my needle down into my fabric, right? I dropped something. Okay, so you want to sew. Okay. And then what I do is bring my needle back up and I pull my fabric back to that particular stitch. And then I come up again on that same stitch. Okay. Okay, so my ends are tapered because what I did was I sewed down so far and then I came back. I pulled my needle out of the fabric. I pulled my fabric back and then just stitch over the same stitch. Okay, that will help you taper off the top. Then again, if this was the top stitch here, what you want to do is, like when I pull this through, I'm going to take and pull it backwards. Okay, that same stitch, I'm not going to pull it completely, but I'm going to pull it toward the front. Like I'm going to pull this, the loop, right? And then the loop that's there that I pulled out, I'm going to take and hold that thread, and I'm going to pull it back through the fabric. So now the loop is at the back, right? You want to take something, pull that loop out, okay? Pull that loop out, and then you want to take it and you want to tie it off. And I usually put like a double knot. But let me do that again. Okay? And then I'm going to get up closer to the camera. So I'm not going to pull back on my stitch. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to sew. Okay. Up close. Okay, so you want to pull the stitch, and I don't know if you could see like the loop. Okay, you want to take that loop and pull it back through. Let me cut this off. So you want to pull that loop back through the back, right? You want to take something and pull the loop through, and now you have two strings in the back, right? And so you want to take them and tie a knot. To secure your stitch. You can do 2 or 3 knots. It doesn't really matter. So now your stitch is secure. You don't want to pull it through the front because you have like a slight knot here, and now your stitch will be like secure. Okay, and then remember, the first one is you start the stitch, you lift your needle up, pull the fabric back to the beginning of that stitch and sew over. Okay, so you have the pull back method and re-sewing over the stitch that you start, or pulling the loop and tying it in the back to you know, secure your stitch. And then what you can also do too, let's cut all of these off. Okay, another way to secure your stitch, take it, put your needle in, start sewing, right? You want to pull your needle up, remember, and the needle is supposed to be inserted into the fabric. Turn it all the way around, like literally all the way around. Put it back down, sew over, okay? You need to make sure your needle is in the fabric. Turn it around this way. Sew it down. sure you sew it straight as I did. But I sewed down, turned it all the way around, sewed backwards, turned it back around, and sewed back down that stitch. Okay, so there's 3 ways so far that you can secure your stitch. All right. I'm going to show you something. So like if you do it that way, by the time you come back down, you're not going to have 2 strings to stitch it with when you do it that way. So what I do is I pull the loop from the back, and I'll take a needle and thread and kind of sew a little bit, like through the loop and over, through the loop and over, and to secure the end of that stitch. Okay, so there's 5 different ways you can secure your stitch with this little machine. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it on this machine. I mean, it's a win-win. I love this little machine. Like, this is what I grab when I'm doing something super small. This is a machine that I grab first. And remember, what I done was put a blue jean needle in there, or you can use a heavy duty needle. And I use embroidery thread with this, so it'll be in the metal class 15 bobbins, just for me. And I don't have any like problems. I don't know if you saw, I'm going to just show you the clip real quick. I don't know if you saw where I stitched I made a computer pad. With just 1 layer of batting in the center, and it done really well. I had no problems. I've done another video which I'll insert right here, where I hemmed some blue jeans, or well, it wasn't actually. I cut some bottom of some old blue jeans, and I hemmed it with this very machine. So it's highly recommended. I'm talking about, in my book. It's a quick 2, and you can actually do projects with this particular machine. Okay, and if you have any other questions, again, you can visit my blog there. I have a link for the full manual, because I've redone the manual. Unfortunately, in their original manual, there's a lot of errors in here, things that it tells you to do, and it's like backwards. or they have misspelled words in here. So I redone this entire manual, and it's on my blog, and I'll have it linked below. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day, and thanks for watching.